This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
My name is Monte Moore with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and I'm Carey Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
Every week we'll be posting a new episode chock full of Nashville real estate value.
Yes, and you can follow along or subscribe at talkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Ask away at questions@talkmusiccity.com.
So, Monty, I heard you got a letter this week.
Just rub it in, why don't you? Just rub it in.
Somebody ask a question at questions@talkmusiccity.com.
Yeah. So this is, I'm going to read the first part of this.
Keep in mind, I don't know, everybody, what this letter is. And you know my friend Monty.
No,
I'm hanging on. Jason and I are hanging on. Hey, and Jason is with us today, too.
Hey, Jason. You could join us.
I can't wait to be on this episode.
Hey, I just want to share with you how raw and how real and how transparent I am. Not everything. One of the motivational speakers, I forget his name right now, it doesn't matter, but the point is, he used to say, hey, it's not just the happy high notes.
Right.
There's some low notes to life as well, and we want to focus on the happy high notes. Miss Happy herself here. But sometimes you get the other side of things, and it was so painful to get this letter. I can't tell you how painful it was, because if you know me, you know I'm a people pleaser. I really am. I mean, that's my weakness probably as much as anything, is I'm a people pleaser. I want people happy, and I really do. So here's the letter, real quick.
Okay. I'm over here checking it out. Although I'm blind, I can't read it that fast.
Monty, with all due respect, you are a betrayer to our profession. You've been in the business 36 years, and in 36 years, you still haven't learned. Gimmicks don't work. He goes on to say, I, along with all other real estate professionals, that's a pretty big statement.
Sure.
I, along with all other real estate professionals, would appreciate some professional courtesy. It is people like you that hurt our industry when you infer that we are not worth the money we earn. I mean, first of all, I never inferred that, and never would infer that if I believe anything, we're worth a lot more. You see, it goes on to say, in my 20 years, here's what I have learned. Stay away from companies that have slick gimmicks and want to coach and train you instead of educating their agents, instead of working hard. The wheel is round, Monty. Don't need to reinvent it. It's round. Now make your own way in an honorable manner. That was kind of mean. Can you believe I read that publicly?
So, question on that. He was saying that coach and training is different from educating them?
Yes. Before we go any further, let's talk about our wonderful sponsor, shall we?
Yes. On that note, let's talk about our amazing sponsor, Music City Removal. They are the #1 junk removal service in Nashville, from residential, commercial, and construction. They're experts in ridding you of junk. Their costs include labor and dumping fees without any hidden or added expenses. Whether you need a full clean out or just one item removed, they have you covered.
The Music City Removal team knows the importance of respect and trust while in someone else's home. They understand the inconvenience of junk left behind by previous homeowners and tenants, and are determined to provide an affordable and customer-focused junk removal service that puts you first. For a free on-site estimate, just go to musiccityremoval.com. That's musiccityremoval.com.
Yes, Music City Removal, because cluttering cute. And that letter is not cute.
It's hell not cute, That was mean.
People sometimes, I don't know, how do you word it? There's something deeper inside within themselves that make them want to say some things, because I get a lot of letters too.
Well, he did say, with all due respect. I mean,
that's true.
That's like saying, but. Everything before that doesn't matter.
That's worse than a but, actually, Jim. Thanks for sharing. It's worse than a but.
Yeah, people forget that people, doesn't matter what age, or how successful, we all have feelings too, I mean, that was mean.
There's a few reasons why I wanted to share this, guys, because, first of all, I want people to know, I want other agents to know that, I'm real, that hurt, and I don't want to make anybody mad, and certainly don't want to make my peers mad. If anybody, I'd like to be known as the real estate broker who, held the mantle high as far as the professionalism, and I don't think there's anybody that can argue better than I can as far as our worth. I have personally sold over 3,000 homes in my career, over $1 billion worth of real estate. I feel like I am worth whatever the consumer is willing to pay in a way of compensation. But at the same time, I also recognize times are changing, and we want to be around long term, and that's why I've been more open-minded maybe than some as far as morphing with the changes needed.
Well, I think if we want to talk about a theme today, many of us out there are not going to please everyone. And
Right.
I'm a pleaser too, and it hurts my heart. I cry behind closed doors some days that, there's people out there that don't like me, and they clearly, he loves you.
Well, according to this one, along with
you.
all of my other real estate professionals.
Well, he doesn't have the right to speak for others either. And that's the other
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
We could have a therapy session here, but
I
many
know
of us
Jason
need
loves
it.
me. I know Jason loves me anyhow, so I know it's not totally true.
Yeah. Yeah, but you have a strong conviction and you have a confidence that's intimidating. And I find the people that don't like me because of this or that, it's just because, maybe jealousy's there, a little bit of it, or maybe there's an intimidation. But if we can lead with truly our hearts forward and always trying to make a difference, whether I want to sell this company that has, this option to help better the business of a real estate agent, or for me to be able to be creative with my business, like that doesn't hurt you. Right. I'm only trying to make a difference for my family and for the consumers that I work with, right? So,
and one of the reasons I wanted to share this is that last statement: the wheel is round, money. You don't need to reinvent it; it's round. I get that thinking, I really do. And I was telling.
Why don't you explain that thinking? What is that?
Well, I mean,
clearly I know wheels round. What is he trying to say there?
Well, what he's trying to say is
don't innovate.
Yeah, don't innovate. Don't try to change
Kmart
things.
thought the wheel was round too.
Yeah.
Don't innovate.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, no, it is. I think it's don't innovate. Don't think out of the box. Don't make changes to anything.
Oh, you can't put baby in a corner, nor can you put me in a box. No. Let's be thinking creatively, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. Everything is changing, especially in today's world. I mean, everything is changing constantly.
Hey, who's the guy, I remember him, the picture, and it was for with the gifts, and it was over here. Goodness, it's not a tiger. What was he? Oh, I just screwed that up. Lord, look at me. Who went out of business because of Amazon, and it was a toy store? Toys R Us.
Toys R
Here we
Us.
go. It sounds like
Lots of toys.
Who
yeah.
is
That
the
was
guy?
a giraffe.
The giraffe. How did I forget it? It was a giraffe. I'm like, it's a
Jeffrey.
clown. Jeffrey. Here we go. Hey, Jeffrey lost his job because they weren't.
Yeah.
Toys R Us wasn't being innovative, or
Right.
they weren't thinking outside the box. Right? They just wanted to do it their own way. So yes, I now see who it's from. They're going strong. Be you for you. Do you for
Right.
you. Right?
Well, but there's a
Poor
reason.
Jeffrey lost his job.
But we can learn from these other entities, okay? We can learn from the travel agents that no longer, mostly don't exist now, and the Jeffreys out there that have gone to the wayside because the consumer, because people came in and saw a problem and they said, let's solve that problem, okay?
Do you call a cab or Uber?
Right, exactly.
Or
There's
Lyft.
another example. There's many of them, and when it comes back to real estate, Open Door wouldn't be getting the traction they are, or Redfin, or Zillow, or any of these other innovative companies. And that's not a criticism; it's an observation that these wouldn't be getting the traction they are if there wasn't a pain point being met by these entities. And we have to pay attention to that, or we can ignore them and we can become like the travel agent, or like Blockbuster, or like these other entities that are just really no longer around.
Yeah. So there's a company that, and a lot of us out there, real estate agents or just humans, we think there's a magic fix for everything. I'm buying it all, right? I mean, there was a new thing, the apple cider gummies, right?
Huh.
And rumor has it, it's going to make a whole difference in my life. I'm going to be, less stressed. I might lose a few pounds. My skin's going to look beautiful, et cetera, et cetera. It's called Goalie, right?
Okay.
This is a perfect example. This literally, you put it was sold out immediately, right? And nobody can get any of this stuff. If the world was round and this company didn't think outside the box, we are looking for something. We are, as consumers, looking for something different, because clearly we all bought this thing that I couldn't even get for 6 weeks, to try to make a difference in my life. Or you look at some other things that are out there that sell so quickly. from us as the consumer, eager to try to find something new to help us. If there is something that can help me save some money in real estate, if there's something that can help me save some money in the mortgage, it would be crazy for me not to create that or offer that to the consumer, to help them or help me as the consumer,
Our world is constantly evolving. Either we choose to evolve with it, or we choose to maybe possibly get left behind. And I hope none of my peers get left behind, even this gentleman here, that I felt like I wrote a pretty nice letter in response, and I appreciate his perspective.
Where's that letter? I'd like to read that one.
Does it comprise of 2 words?
No, it really didn't.
No.
I was transparent with that too, and shared that with my help and my amazing Chrissy and my amazing wife, and said that, hey, this from my heart. I'm sorry. I really am sorry for offending anybody. I didn't mean to. The reality of the situation is our world is changing. We have a choice. We can change with it, or we can be stubborn and not. But I'm changing with it, and most everybody knows it. That's why we have a Realty One Group music franchise, because things are changing. Okay.
What is he really upset about? What's the one thing?
Well, honestly, I'm recruiting agents.
I would assume it's himself.
I'm recruiting
Starts
agents,
there.
and he's a broker, and at the end of the day, none of us brokers like other people treading on our ground. I get that. I had some brokers trying to recruit some of my agents. What are you doing, man? You can't do that. I didn't like that. But at the end of the day, I'm still always working from a place of contribution, not a survival. We're only looking for the agents who are looking for us. So that's what that was about.
But we should all take the higher road. I will tell you, I fell into this business in my mid-20s, and I matured in this business. I was the Yankee that wrote many letters, right? Like was telling how people were going to be. And I learned that my business was turning not in the right way. Yeah. And as soon as I started, taking the higher road and approaching everything that there's a solution to it all, in that, but I wasn't going to be intimidated or bullied into a place to not be me. People would say things about this, and this, which would want me not to walk out the door looking like that, maybe because of what somebody said or doing something or the way that I did my social media or whatever. This is our life to live. And if you are leading with your heart and you are taking the high road and not hurting somebody else, not being disrespectful to another, right? Always putting your hand out to help another, I think you're fine, in my opinion.
I think part of it's coming from a place of contribution and being okay, with whether it works for everybody or not. We're not looking as an example here. We're not looking for everybody. We're only looking for the agents who are looking for us. And I appreciate you being on this show and enduring that letter, because I know it was painful for you.
Hey, listen, I have had some people decide that they no longer want to work with me and in the office, some operations people. And their reasons are for this or for that. And my feelings are hurt. But at the end of the day, I only want people working with me that want to work with me, and that they see growth opportunity, and that they see that we truly make a difference. The reason some of them are leaving is because I'm too busy. I have too much volume, and that's turned a good thing turned into a negative, right? But again, all I can do is give them a going away party and wish them the best, in hopes that when they continue, as I was at the 20-something-year-old, made certain decisions in my life, was thankful for someone that opened the door back up for me when they were ready, right? But again, I could have gone a different road, or taken a different road. But yeah, people. We should have a therapy. He should go to therapy.
Maybe you should just have a coffee with him, Monte.
I thought about that. I really did.
We should film it.
Yeah, no, but I really did think about that.
Film it.
I don't think he'd be comfortable with that, because I'm not afraid of it at all. I'm honestly not, and I feel bad for him that he felt that much angst that he wanted to attack like that, because I didn't even read all of it. It gets worse.
Did you read us
Did
the
you
highlights?
just take the points out of it? That's funny. I love it.
So Carey Ann, you were talking about the nature of your attitude in your business in your 20s affected your business. That's interesting.
Well, because I thought I could control all, and if you weren't going to do it my way, and I forgot, and I tried it maybe at the time, threw somebody under the bus or this vendor under the bus. Right now, we all need each other. I truly believe
More than ever,
it takes a village to close a transaction, and we all need to work together. But I will remember a letter I got a long time ago, and it was right after I had my little one, and I was going through postpartum, and I was clearly a mental case at the time. And this individual was not very happy with me because of, I can't even remember the reason. All I remember out of the letter is he wasn't happy with me. Everybody should be happy
I
with
know,
me.
that's how I felt. Everybody should love me.
I cried and cried and cried and cried. And the only thing I could think of is I could have just thrown it out. But I did take the confidence, and I swallowed my pride and said, maybe he's right. Maybe something in the letter is right. That he, I don't yet believe that, but maybe there is. And so I did respond to him and said, these are my beliefs, and I am so very sorry. And if you believe in second chances, I will never let you down again, type of thing. And he and I are best of buds today. And that was super. Aubrey's 7, years old, or 7.5 years old, and he did give me that chance. And we were able to work it out. So sometimes people do need to communicate their feelings, but it's how we respond, right? Do we take the higher road, or do you call me and yell at me like you did yesterday, individual? That's not going to get us anywhere, We all need to work together for sure. But again, be okay. The people aren't going to like you. They're not going to like my hair color. They're not going to like that I like to wear heels. They're just not going to like me. That's okay. There's something about them, not about you. And you should be confident. Put your shoulders back and do you for you. Be you for you.
Right.
I was trying to be in this box. I don't know. I mean, you're wiser, more mature, but as a young 20-something year old,
more mature anyhow.
I was thinking I was supposed to do it a certain way.
Yeah.
Right? Like I wore suits back in the day, and like I tried to be something, and then I was not. My personality didn't shine through, I was, as soon as I let all of that go and I started showing the true me and who I was and being vulnerable, that you could see that I do cry and that I do, get angry. I'm a Yankee. So, I'm going to tell you
I love
that.
your do you for you.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's such a great reminder for all of us. Do you for you.
But don't feel like you have to swim in the same, because everyone's going that way. You don't have to go that way, but.
So next time
confident.
I throw out, this COVID thing is ridiculous. It's all man-made. It's, we shouldn't be wearing masks. Next time I say something like that, you'll just say, I'm being me for me.
Yeah. But everybody has a different belief on that too. And I have my own beliefs on that. Right. And I'm not going to force my beliefs on anybody else, but like he was trying to do, or trying to remind you. In all of your 36 years. I got that you're very mature, 36 years in that. So
yes, I'm very mature, that's for sure.
Have you ever heard the famous quote? First, they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win.
Yeah.
You are that close to winning, my friend.
I have heard that.
Then they join you.
Then they join you.
Well, and I respect that you took the time to reply to him and even apologize.
Right.
I definitely do that because I'm just going to be transparent. I wouldn't. The way I deal with it is, and kind of going back to what you're talking about. Yeah, literally, it's like, okay, that's a waste of my time. Delete.
Right.
And that's the way I take it. It's like, okay, that's fine that you have that opinion, but I probably wouldn't even finish the letter because whenever I read it, I'm like, all right, delete. I've got better things. I've got a family. I've got a business. I've got so many things to do that I'm not letting that steal those precious minutes from my life.
And Jason, I think that's absolutely probably a super healthy way to do it, because I think sometimes this is part of guarding our own conscious, our own mind, with not letting a lot of negative in here. I think the reason why I took the time is because I felt his pain. I've sometimes a very high level of empathy, and I felt his pain, and I felt bad for him. Not bad for me.
Sure.
I felt bad for him. I mean, I'm a people pleaser. I don't want somebody being mad at me, but at the same time, I felt worse for him because I feel like he's stuck in what used to be really a beautiful thing back in the day, and maybe not so much today's world. But he's trying to defend that and say, "Hey, the wheel's round. You don't have to innovate. You don't have to change."
And see, that's why it makes you. I mean, that's why I respect you, that you would take the time to do that.
I'm passionate about our industry, brother.
Right.
I am passionate about it.
Can't be romantic about the past.
And that's going to attract a certain individual.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are going to
Absolutely.
want to work with you. Some people are not. You know, and that's okay.
I love our industry. Nobody works harder for their dollar, I don't think, than the realtors and the mortgage professionals out there. I mean, today alone, I had so many challenges I had to deal with. You know, low appraisals. One of them, $76,000 low. How could that even possibly be? I know you have to wrestle with that kind of stuff as well.
Because it's an opinion of one.
Yeah,
Right.
an opinion of one. So we get a second one, and then the underwriter kicked out the second one, which was full price, and went back to the lower one.
Because Fannie says the guidelines say you have to do a certain thing. So it's sometimes you have to throw out common sense. We'll just keep throwing things out. I mean, the mortgage business sometimes, you know, I always say you got to sprinkle common sense all over, but, you know, sometimes the guidelines make absolutely no sense. Like, I'm going to approve this loan that has 3 pages of delinquencies on it. However, I'm not going to approve this loan because they have not earned, supposedly it's variable income and it's not for a full 12 months, it's 9 months. 20% down, 715 credit score. But the guidelines, it's not a saleable loan, but that is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? That's what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't make any sense.
Or it's 2 realtors and you haven't got a new contract in 10 days.
Yeah.
That was mine.
COVID rules.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All kinds
I'm
of
thinking
things.
you probably should send this episode to him once it airs.
I think,
No.
I think this, I mean, speaking of the COVID thing, and not to get distracted with that right now, but the point is, I think it really has exposed how little common sense sometimes is being
Right.
exercised. in
But it
just certain
also,
things,
there's a
you
lot
know?
of emotion because of it. You know, people are having their own panic attacks,
Yeah.
having more anxiety than they've ever had. They're having outbursts, I think, because of whatever they're going through. And we don't know what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? This person may not have closed a loan in the last 5 months.
Well, I looked at his volume. I couldn't help doing that, and it's like, well, God bless you, man. You know, maybe we could send you a donation or something. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that sincerely.
That's
really. I
not
shouldn't have
taking
said
the
that.
high road.
I know what I'm saying, but
Crack that whip.
anyway,
But those are, hey, if you've been in this business long enough, you're going to have haters. Taylor Swift tells us, you know, hater, shake it off. Shake it
Yeah.
off. You know, you have
my-
to.
And I think that's what cripples so many people, because I know it crippled me in that kind of going what you're saying as we were growing and, you know, morphing into who we are now, is that I let people's opinions and things like that cripple me from doing things because I was always worried, well, is somebody going to think of me this way? Is somebody going to respond this way? And you know what happens when you get that mindset? You're going to find a plethora of different ways that they're going to not like what you're doing. And that's why, and I guess that's why I am the way I am now, is that, you know what, I finally had enough of it that I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. And it's almost like I blanked that out.
It's hard. So this past weekend, I got a text message, and it's never good when the text message is a novel, right? I think I swiped 3 or 4 times, right?
no.
And there wasn't a lot of positivity. And this was at 9:30 on a Sunday, and there was a demand in there. And again, whether people text and you don't want to read through text, so that's why I called this person. But I expect an answer today. Keep in mind, this is Sunday. Okay?
Oh, wow.
Not happy, and that made me
is this a realtor?
yes,
Okay.
but that made me so angry. I was not happy.
Yeah.
Which only led to a very frustrating morning
Yeah.
and me snapping at my child.
Oh, yeah.
And my child saying, "Why are you so upset, Mommy?"
That hurts.
That hurt.
That
It
part
makes me
hurts.
say, you know what?
part
No
hurts.
longer, you know, and guess what? I was an easy fix. This person was upset about me, not because of me, but because of decisions that somebody didn't choose to tell the truth from a consumer standpoint, and then they put that on me. We can't blame other people for actions of other individuals, right? And upset that the payment wasn't this, and you know the taxes went up in Nashville. That's not my issue, right? Type of thing.
Right.
However, what I picked up on that is we do allow sometimes the reactions or the emotions of others to have us fall short, and I did this past weekend to my child, you know, which then led her to eating ice cream and painting and all kinds of things to make it up for it. But they don't have
happens
the
to
right
the
to
best
do
of
that.
us.
They don't have
Yeah.
the right to do that, you know. And you knew when you typed that text message at 9:30 on a Sunday that you wanted to hurt me or, get my attention, which you clearly did, And so I only say that because I took the higher road and I fixed it and I spent the time, but the result of it caused me to have not a very good morning.
Now, do you go back and, once everything is done, do you approach that person and say, now, we got all that taken care of. The way you went about it wasn't exactly the most savory. Is that something that you address?
No, I was not happy when I spoke to the individual in the sense of I knew I wasn't happy, but I was very straightforward and shared the facts, and I'm only as good as the information provided, et cetera, et cetera. And then I just took the high road, maybe, I don't know, maybe I just think that we should know better. I shouldn't send you. First of all, I'll text you at 5 a.m. because I know you're up at 5 a.m. I can have a full-blown conversation with you, but I don't know you to be up at that. Maybe
don't expect a response at 5 in the morning.
What I'm getting at is if you don't truly know that individual, like you were trying to, I don't know what you were trying to do. So, but we get letters, we get text messages. Consumers are happy, consumers are unhappy. Consumers are unhappy, real estate agents from mortgage companies sometimes because they don't make their own credit card payments on time and their credit's bad and we have to tell them no, and so they're upset with us. There's sometimes more to a story. There are two sides to a story, but the consumer's always right. However, I will take that and I'll fall for the consumer and I'll take ownership of it. But just know that there's sometimes more, to all stories, right? But don't be discouraged. Shake it off. I have this little easy button when somebody upsets me. It is. Don't you have one? Who doesn't have one? You got to get one. And then you can put your favorite song on it. And when I hit it, it sings the song Let It Go. And it reminds me of my kid, but then it reminds me of Let It Go. Like I don't have time for this person to take control of my business and then me not able to go sell 5 more people or give value to 5 more people. Hal Elrod said something so good. He says, you can bitch and complain all you want, but you have 5 minutes, right? Whether you're in traffic, right? Thank goodness I'm not in that anymore because thank goodness for Zoom, right? I'm not in traffic anymore, but real estate agents maybe, or you get that, or you get an upset this or a text, you have 5 minutes.
5 minutes to be upset about it.
And I take every ounce of those 5 minutes.
That's what he gave himself when he was fatally killed, before he came back to life. The next day after he'd come back to life. His family was amazed that he was so positive. He goes, Dad, I used the 5 minutes up, But I hear you. Sometimes it's tempting to go into the 6 minute
or the 2 hours or 3 hours, But overtime. I think this was great. I think you're right. Yep. There's a lot of positives, but there's sometimes negatives that come in our business, and how do we handle them?
Yep. So, Thank you, Carey Ann, for sharing. I wasn't the only one that somebody yelled at.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I think, like you said, you get a hard skin, but we have feelings. People forget we have feelings. Right. We can be strong, fierce women, but we still have feelings, and maybe, men have them too.
Maybe they can have them too.
Just joking. Too funny. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Talk of Music City. We will see you again next week. You've been listening to the Talk of Music City Real Estate.